Company, Princeton Armature, and Latest Department Store. We've got a special pregame guest we'll be talking to in just a moment, so we invite you to stick around. We'll be back right after this. That was true, and they were really not on top of their game that night. All right, we're back in Dobyns-Bennett High School in Kingsport, Tennessee, waiting to start tonight's class. And Tigers just now leaving the floor. You might be able to hear a little bit of the Princeton cheering section that we brought along with us. I'm Craig May, and alongside I've got Glenn May, Bob Graham, Charlie Wright, and Jack Allaire is out in the crowd somewhere. But more importantly, right now we've got a fella here from the University of Virginia by the name of Craig Littlepage. And first of all, Coach, we want to welcome you aboard.
Thank you again. I think this is my third or fourth visit with you folks, and you've always been very kind and friendly with me, and it's a pleasure to be with you again.
Of course, we're here to see good basketball. And we expect, well, the headlines of the papers here call it the Super Bowl of basketball, a Cage Classic, never to be equaled again. I'm sure that you're here to look at some talent, aren't you?
Yeah, there are going to be four very good teams involved in tonight's doubleheader, Craig, as well as tomorrow night's doubleheader. And I came down with the purpose of seeing tonight's game. We have a game tomorrow afternoon at home against Clemson at 1 o'clock, so I won't be able to stay for the both doubleheaders Friday and Saturday night. But I think that we're going to see two great games tonight and a lot of outstanding talent and some very highly sought-after high school prospects.
Well, I think while we're talking about the talent that's here on the floor tonight, we ought to go down the run of the teams. Of course, we have Princeton, our hometown fans, like the Tigers, and we're, of course, in the new ratings today, we were rated number 3 in the state of West Virginia. And Sullivan North, who, of course, we're going against tonight, is rated number 9 in the state of Tennessee. And then the game later tonight, of course, Princeton's opponent tomorrow night, Dobyns-Bennett, is rated number 1 in the state of Tennessee. I think they're going at 23-0 or something like that on the season.
Maybe as high as 25, but it's 20-some-odd.
And then the team that they play later tonight is from Louisville, Kentucky, ranked number 1 in the state of Kentucky.
Right, and they, year in and year out, they are a very good high school program, and they have one of the top maybe dozen players in the country, a young man named Manuel Forrest, who will be going to school next year and playing basketball for the University of Louisville.
So that causes some problems, huh?
Well, we don't have Louisville on the schedule next year, so unless we play them in the NCAAs or somewhere along the line in a tournament of some kind, we really won't have to face Manuel Forrest, but he's an exceptional talent, and I'm sure that you'll be excited watching him play tonight.
What? You mentioned the NCAAs. Of course, when you mention that, we have to think that we're going to see Virginia there this year.
Well, we're in a very commanding situation as far as our league standings are concerned. We're 2 games up. We're undefeated, 10-0 in conference play, 21-0 for the season. And I think 20 is the magic figure when teams really start to seriously consider themselves to be NCAA-bound teams. We would like to win the regular season conference play as well as go into the ACC tournament and get that title, which would assure us, guarantee us of going to the NCAA tournament. But I'd say with 21 wins already under our belt with 5 games to go, we're in a very commanding situation as far as going to the NCAA tournament this year.
The last time I got to, of course, I haven't been able to see you fellas play in person this year, but the last time it was a televised game I was fortunate enough to see was when you played North Carolina at Carolina.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, Coach, I thought you guys were beat.
Well, we have an exceptional group of young guys, a bunch of guys that have played together now. I'd say 9 of our 11 players are now in their second year playing together, and they have a great deal of character. That was the 5th time that we've had to come from behind in the latter stages of the ball game to win it. And we came from a 13-point deficit at North Carolina, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. This past week we won at North Carolina State, having to come from behind, coming from a 3-point deficit in the last 2 minutes to win that ball game. So I think that's an indication that our young men do have a great deal of character and poise, and they do play well together.
Alrighty, I'm talking with Craig Littlepage of the University of Virginia, and we'll be back with some closing comments with Coach Littlepage right after this commercial message. Dobyns-Bennett Coliseum, I guess is what you call it. Isn't that what you call it, Charlie? And we're handing out Tootsie Pops right now, and I've got Coach Littlepage along with his Tootsie Pop. And first of all, we want to congratulate you on holding on to your AP number 1 spot in the nation, and we want to wish you the best of luck going on through the ACC tournament and on into the NCAA.
Well, Craig, thank you very much. And I'd like to thank you and the staff here for allowing me the opportunity on so many occasions to talk to you and your listeners. And I'd like to thank as well Coach Ball and his staff who've been so kind to me during my visits to Princeton, as well as the people there at the school, Mrs. Neely there in the main office. All the people there at Princeton High School have been so cooperative with me, and they've really made my visits to Princeton High School during the course of this year very enjoyable. Just want to thank you very much for your kindness as well.
Thank you, Coach. And we, like I said, we look to be seeing you play throughout the rest of the season and on into the ACC tournament. Right now, we're waiting to start tonight's ball game, and we'll be back with the first half tip-off right after this.
And we're at Dobyns-Bennett High School. I'm Glenn May, and I've got Charlie sitting alongside, and I've got Bob on the other side, and they've been arguing and fighting all the way down here about all I can stand. Welcome aboard, Bob.
Thank you, Glenn May, and we're about ready for tip-off, so I better go ahead and give the Sullivan North lineup. Starting at center for them is the Booney Crawford, well, not a center, but a guard. Booney Crawford, 6'1" senior, averaging just over 14 points a game. Another starter for them will be Scott Johnson. That's a forward, 6'4" senior, 11.16 average on the season. Bruce Bacon, a 6'1" senior, averaging almost 9 points a game. Probably the star of the Sullivan North team, Granville Arnold, 6'6" junior, averaging almost 16 points a game. The other starter forward is Derek McLaughlin, the 6'5" senior, averaging almost 10 points a game. End of the game, you'll see Tim Light coming off the bench, 6'7" junior, and Greg Powers. That's the Sullivan North lineup. Charlie Wright, do you have the Princeton lineup?
Yeah, sure do, Bob. Tonight, starting at center will be Jimmy Miller. He is averaging 24 points a ball game. Starting at one of the guard position will be Mike Eves. He is averaging 16 points a game. Starting at one of the forward position will be James DeWitt. He is averaging 13 points per game. And starting at the point guard tonight would be Jeff St. Clair at a 9-point average per season. And at the other forward tonight will be Stephon Strain. He is averaging 6 points per game.
And we're just moments away from basketball action, so while we have a chance, let's pause 30 seconds for this message. Lineups, and Sullivan North has adequate size, and they appear to have a little bit of a weight advantage on us, Bob.
They sure do. They, a little reminiscent to me of the Parkersburg team. They're quite a bit taller than Parkersburg, but they've got that speed on them to go with that height. I suspect they're going to be very tough inside. For those people who don't know, Sullivan North has a 21-4 record and are ranked number 9 in Tennessee basketball.
In basketball. I just lost your mic.
Testing. Okay, I'm back.
All right, now, he just put 15 out there in the starting lineup.
15 is Booney Crawford.
I thought you told me a while ago 13 was Booney Crawford.
13 is Craig Powers.
I had it that way, and you made me change it. I said that was a 13. Now, is that a 13 or 15
That's
for Crawford?
15 and 13 is Powers. Glenn, it appears to me that Sullivan North overall has a pretty good size advantage on Princeton. Player for player, they do have a real size advantage.
I think that's true. But we're in a pretty nice high school athletic complex here, don't you think?
Yes, we are, and the empty seats are few and far between. They were announced on the radio a sellout. I think there were some people who did not get tickets. So it is quite an atmosphere. It's a beautiful facility and a tremendous atmosphere, and I think we're lining up for the tip-off.
All right. As we've got Jim Miller out in the center circle and moving in to jump against him for the Sullivan North Golden Raiders. What's his number? I can't. In the center.
It's number 25, Granville Arnold.
Okay, it's Granville Arnold. Arnold is in. All right, we're waiting for Miller to move in. As Miller now moves in, waiting on the official. The official tonight, Stout and Craddock. And the tip control with the Tigers as Eads pulls it out of the air. Eads in the backcourt with it. Gives it to St. Clair. He's in the front court on the point position. Takes it to the left side. Eads on the wing, way outside with it. Takes it toward the corner. Gives it back outside. Knocked loose from DeWitt. Picked up by Sullivan North. And Sullivan goes to the front court with it. In top of the key. A jump shot. Off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound inside by Arnold. Put up, no good. Miller blocked it. Taken out by St. Clair. St. Clair on the break. Goes down, pulls up, does not shoot. Drops it underneath the Miller. Miller puts it on the glass and drops it. Miller gets the Tigers out in front, 2-0. And the Tigers with a half-court press As Sullivan North working it toward the front court. As they get it into the big man, McLaughlin. He gets it back outside to Crawford. He's on the point, moving it toward the left side. Gives it to the other side to Bacon. And now they bring it to the wing position. As he starts it toward the baseline, drops it underneath to Arnold, fires over Miller, got it. Granville Arnold ties it up for Sullivan North. A 2-2 ball game as Eads brings it to the front court for the Tigers. On the right side to St. Clair. He's on the point, gives it back to Eads. Eads looking underneath, holding it overhead. Gives it back outside. St. Clair to Stephon out on the wing. Gives it to Miller, low post. Turning, fine, good. Jim Miller puts the Tigers up 4-2. As Sullivan North brings it back to the front court. Brings it toward the side of the key. Gives the ball to Johnson. Johnson gives it back outside to Crawford. Crawford on the point position. Looking underneath. Now he'll fire up the top of the key. Off the front iron. No good. Rebound to Miller of the Tigers. Out to Eads. Eads into the front court with it. In heavy traffic now. Starts it down the lane. Backs it out toward the corner. Now moves to the baseline. Fires off the baseline. Good. Mike Eads and the Tigers lead 6-2. As the net is caught up on the rim, and they take time out to pull it down. 6-2. Tigers lead with 6:20 left to play in the first quarter. As the Tiger defensive guards, St. Clair and Eads, come to the backcourt to meet the Golden Raiders of Sullivan North. As now Arnold, or Crawford into the front court with an on-the-point position. Holds it overhead. Gives it to the other side to Bacon. Looking underneath. Comes to the top of the key. Firing to the top of the key off the iron. No good. Rebound underneath to Arnold. Puts it up as a foul. Maybe on Stephon, I believe. Let's see.
Wait a second, St. Clair. Let's see. He is on St. Clair, and we're going to have a great deal of difficulty seeing the officials' fingers tonight. Let's hope the announcer does a good job.
And on the free throw line, who's that going on?
I believe that's number 25, Arnold.
That's Granville Arnold. That's what I thought. Arnold on the line now. He'll shoot 2 shots. He's standing on the line, taking an awful lot of time. And now he fires. And it's off the iron, no good. He hits the back iron and bounces back out into the lane. Set it up with no trajectory on it at all. He had no altitude, no arch. So he'll try a second one. As he says he's ready, now he's going to dribble again. Still looking. Now he'll fire. And that's good. 6-3. Tigers lead by 3 as the inbounds pass from DeWitt comes to Eads. He gives it to St. Clair. Gives it back to Eads, and the Tigers are in the front court with it. As the ball knocked loose from Eads, it's knocked out of bounds, and they give it to Sullivan North. One of the officials called it Tigers, the other one called it Sullivan North, and the one that was closer to it overruled. So now Sullivan comes back to the offense against the Tiger defense, as Crawford will bring it to the point position. Gives it to Bacon. Bacon holds it overhead and gives it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin top of the key with it, looking underneath. Dribble his flash. Tries to get it to Arnold on the low post. Knocked loose. Picked up. And now he's out in the corner as DeWitt plays defense on him. He gives it back outside to Johnson. Johnson on the wing. As they set it back outside to Crawford. Crawford will fit the offense again as Sullivan North trying to control the offensive tempo against the Tigers. Tigers playing a 1-3-1 zone right now. No, they're playing a man-to-man. As they bring it from the near side to Crawford. Drives the baseline, fires. It's on the iron and off. No good. Miller rebounds in heavy traffic as he took it away from a couple of the Vikings. Check it, a couple of the Raiders. Gives it out to St. Clair and Jeff. Puts it to the floor. Starts it to the front court. Down the right side. DeWitt on the wing with it. Goes toward the baseline. He'll fire from 20 feet. It's off the iron. No good. Stephon up the rebound. And Miller come out of there with it. It's knocked loose. Picked up by St. Clair and thrown out to Miller. As bodies all over the floor. Miller comes down. Gives it to Stephon on the baseline. Firing off the iron. No good. Rebound pulled down by Johnson of Sullivan North. They feed it out to the front court to Bacon. Bacon comes down, goes to the baseline, drops it underneath, and we got a whistle and a foul underneath.
I believe that foul's going to be on Stephon. It'll be his first, team number 2.
Got a foul on number 34, Steve Gray. The first, Steve second.
As the PA announcer makes a Stevens strain. 6-3. Tigers leading with 4:44 left to play in the first quarter. As Sullivan will inbound it out of their own bucket. As they flip it in to Crawford, he's on the wing. And he finally flips it outside to Bacon. Bacon brings it around the horn to Johnson. Johnson works his way down the key, goes down the lane, fires out of the lane, no good. Ball comes off the glass, loose on the floor, picked up by Sullivan. They fire good.
Booney Crawford on that field goal, Glenn.
As Crawford got the field goal, and now they call the turnover as Booney Crawford knocks it out of bounds, and it's turned over to the Sullivan North Golden Raiders. The Tigers lose possession on the inbound, 6-5. And Sullivan North has the ball as McLaughlin inbounds it to Crawford. Crawford Works his way down the left side. Gives it to Bacon. He's on the point position now, top of the key. They go across court with it to McLaughlin. Starts it down toward the corner. Backs his way in. Johnson with the ball. Gives it back outside to Crawford, firing, no good. Rebound, tipped around, knocked out of bounds. This Tiger ball as DeWitt was rebounding in traffic, and the ball kicked loose and out of bounds.
Here's me, Glenn. The Sullivan North is crashing the backboard pretty good.
As St. Clair gives it to Mike Eads. Mike gives it back to Jeff. He gives it back to Mike, and he goes down the left side to the wing position. We got a whistle and a foul as Sullivan North going in to try to take the ball away. And it's number 1 on Sullivan North, number 1 on Booney Crawford.
You know, so far in this game, Booney Crawford seems to be the real leader of that team. And he so far has made his presence felt out there.
As St. Clair takes the inbound pass, goes to the point position. They go to Eads on the wing, left side, drives the baseline, goes all the way under, lays it on the glass, got it. As Eads fights his way through traffic, puts it up and in. 8-5, Tigers lead by 3 now. As Sullivan works it toward the front court. Brings the pass across court to McLaughlin. McLaughlin gives it back outside, and Crawford will start the offense. To the near side to Johnson. Johnson fakes, goes to the lane, shooting from 17 feet. He's got it. Scott Johnson hits it for Sullivan. 8-7. Tigers leading by 1 now with 3.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. As Eads brings it to the right side, down the right side for the Tigers. Gives it to St. Clair on the point. They go to DeWitt. He's on the wing, left side. Works it toward the corner. Drops it into Miller. Miller in the lane, double team, puts it up and in. As Miller muscled it up and in. 10-7. Tigers leading by 3 now. As they've got a semi-press on. As McLaughlin brings it to the front court for Sullivan. Gives it back to Crawford. Crawford will start the offense. As the Tigers playing a 2-1-2 zone right now. Going to make Sullivan shoot them out of it before they move out. As we got a tied-up ball on the other side. As Eads ties up Scott Johnson on the jump ball. As Johnson lost his footing, looked like he slipped to the floor, and as soon as he did, Eads jumped all over that basketball, and they'll jump it. In the free throw circle. Johnson's quite a bit, what's the size on Johnson?
Johnson's a 6'4" senior.
And he's about 6 foot. Hip control by Sullivan as Crawford runs it down over by the time strike. Puts it on the floor, brings it to the point position, still on the dribble. Left-hand dribble, moves it to the right hand, brings it to the left side. He's on the wing position now. Gives it to Bacon. Bacon starts it toward the key. They go across court with it to Johnson. Drops it underneath Arnold. Arnold puts it up, and Miller tips it right all over. And big goaltending, but he got away with it. As Eads comes out with it into the front court for the Tigers, and the pass intercepted by Johnson. Sullivan. Johnson comes down, pulls up, fires from 12 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound to Miller of the Tigers. As Miller kicks it out to Eads. Eads starts it toward the front court. Into the front court with it. Gives it to St. Clair. And Jeff St. Clair to the point position. To DeWitt. He's on the wing. Goes toward the corner. He'll fire from 20. Good. James DeWitt puts the Tigers up 12-7. As Sullivan comes to the front court with it. Bacon to the top of the key. Trying to get it over to Arnold. Arnold in the low post. And they double team him. He gets it back outside to Crawford. Crawford top of the key. Turns, works his way down. Gets a pick. Can't get around anything. Gives it back outside to Bacon. Bacon goes into the lane. He knocks the ball loose, but he reclaims it. Gives it to Crawford. Firing from way outside. Good. Crawford from 25 feet puts it in off the wing. 12-9. The Tigers leading by 3 with 1:42 to play in the first quarter. As Mike Eads into the front court with it for the Tigers. Gives it to Jeff St. Clair. They go to James DeWitt on the wing left side. Goes to the corner. He'll fire again from 20 feet. It's good. 14-9. With 1:27 to play in the first quarter. As the Tigers with a semi-press, no real pressure on it, they allow Sullivan to come to the front court with the ball. They go low with it to Arnold on the baseline. Gives it back outside to Crawford. Fakes, goes toward the lane. Tries to dump underneath Arnold. Fires over Miller. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound pulled down by Eads. As Eads in traffic with it. Holds it up, puts it on the floor, moves it toward the front court in traffic again. Leaves it for St. Clair. Jeff will move it to the point position. They come to DeWitt on the wing right side. Drops it underneath to Miller. Miller low post. Spinning. Goes to the baseline. Hooking. No good off the iron. Tipped out. Picked up by Stefan. Stefan drops it to Miller again. Goes across the lane. Puts it up. No good. We got a whistle, not a foul. Offensive foul on Jim. Offensive foul on Jimmy Miller. His first. It is also for a whistle. Team foul number 3 on the Tigers. Number 1 on Jim. 14-9. Tigers lead by 5. We got 51 seconds left to play. And who came in for Sullivan North?
Number 31, Tim Light.
Tim Light comes in, number 31 for Sullivan North. There's Sullivan into the front court with it. Comes to the near side to McLaughlin. Goes toward the baseline. St. Clair almost makes that one away as they give it back outside with the ball is Light. Time to get it to McLaughlin on the post. They get it back out to Crawford. He's on the point position. They bring it over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin works it toward the corner, goes to the baseline, goes under, puts the shot up, no good, tipped up and in by Crawford, by Arnold, I believe. So 14-11. The Tigers lead by 3. We got 12 seconds to play in the first quarter. Now 10 seconds on the clock. It's DeWitt with the ball on the wing position. Goes toward the baseline. Drops it to Miller. Spinning. Firing. Good. With 3 seconds, the Tigers go out by 16-11. Long course by Sullivan. Goes out of bounds at the end of the first quarter. The Princeton Tigers 16. Sullivan North 11. And we'll be back right after this. All right, we're back. Bob, what you got?
For Princeton,
8 for 11, 70.
Mike East had 2 field goals, 4 points. James DeWitt, 4 points. Jimmy Miller, 8 points on 4 buckets. For Sullivan North, Granville Arnold, the junior, 2 field goals, 1 of 2 at the foul line, 5 points. Booney Crawford, 4 points. Charlie, what have you got in terms of team statistics?
Okay, for Princeton, in the first quarter, they made 8 of 11 for 72%, and Sullivan North made 5 of 13 for 33%. Very fine shooting for Princeton so far in this quarter.
Grant, it appeared to me Sullivan North wanted Princeton out of that zone, and they came down and took some, over 25-foot shots.
Yeah,
quite a few of them.
Took that big long one out there. He made one of them, though. All right, we're ready to go. As the Tigers come back out, we got Strain, we got Miller, Eads, DeWitt, and St. Clair. And we'll have Granville Arnold in for Sullivan North to jump against Jim Miller of the Princeton Tigers. As Arnold is in the center circle, now Miller moves in. The tip control by Sullivan North as they pull it out of the air. As he feeds it over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin drops it underneath to Arnold, low post. Miller blocks the shot, foul on Miller. That's number 2 on Jim. Team foul number 4 on the Tigers.
Jimmy Miller is second.
16-11. Tigers leading by 5. We got 7:53 left to play in the first half. Early in the second quarter. And they didn't call that a shooting foul, fellas. They're going to give it to them out of bounds. I don't understand that either. And
I don't think they're
timeout. They're going to complain about that. So with timeout on the floor, we got Princeton 16, Sullivan 11. We'll be back right after this. 16-11. Tigers leading. And Sullivan North wants a timeout. What are they going to do different? They're going to overload the Tigers zone.
They're going to, well,
and they're going to get a pick for Arnold, and they're going to give a screen to Crawford.
okay.
I think.
Is Princeton going to stay under 2-1-2?
Probably not. They'll probably come out in a 1-3-1.
Can Princeton match up man for man with Sullivan?
They can't except in the back court. And when they bring the Crawford out, and of course McLaughlin comes out high, it's going to be tough to match up out there. But underneath they can't. As Sullivan North inbounds it, brings it way out front to Crawford, trying from the top of the key off the iron, no good. Rebound to Sullivan, as picking it up with Light. Light feeds it underneath to McLaughlin, and we got a foul. Offensive foul, I believe, on Sullivan. It is, and it's on Derek McLaughlin, offensive foul of Sullivan North. As Sullivan North going to press it man-to-man. As Eads takes the pass from St. Clair, moves it to the front court to Miller. Miller way out high with it, gives it to St. Clair. And now Sullivan falls back into a 2-3 zone. As Eads with the ball on the wing, gives it back out to St. Clair, top of the key. They come to Miller way outside on the wing. Now they go to St. Clair, top of the key. They go to DeWitt around the horn. He's on the wing left side. Comes to the lane. Ball knocked loose. And knocked loose again, and finally picked up by Sullivan. And picking it up is Crawford. Crawford into the front court with it. Drops it to Light. Light goes under.
Light carried that ball.
Blocked, put it back up and in by Sullivan.
Arnold on the basket.
Arnold, 16-13. Tigers lead by 3 now. As Eads will move it to the front court for the Tigers. To St. Clair. Moves it to DeWitt. He's on the wing. Looking underneath. The pass stopped loose as they try to get it to Miller. And Sullivan North comes up with it. As the Tigers guilty of a couple of turnovers right here in the second quarter. And Crawford will bring it to the front court for Sullivan North. Brings it toward the left side. Starts it toward the corner. Holds it up. Gives it to Bacon. Bacon goes around the horn with it. They go to McLaughlin to Light. Shooting good. So that was... as McLaughlin hitting that one. So 16-15, the Tiger leads front to 1 point as Miller gets the ball into the front court against the Sullivan press to Eads. Eads on the wing. Goes to the baseline. He'll fire. It's in and out. No good. Rebound fought for. Knocked loose. Picked up by Sullivan North. As controlling it was Arnold. He gets it out to Crawford into the front court. Bang was out of the lane. Good. As Sullivan North takes the lead over the Tigers, 17-16. As the Sullivan North crashing the boards and playing a different defense, disturbing the Tigers. As Eads and St. Clair in the backcourt of the ball for Princeton now. Eads gets it to the front court, and the Tigers want a timeout. So it's 6:01 left to play in the first half. It is Sullivan North 17, Princeton 16. We'll be back right after this. 17-16, the Sullivan North Golden Raiders leading the Tigers with 6:01 left to play in the first half. And the Raiders have came back with a vengeance, Bob.
They sure have. They've changed it to a man-to-man on occasion, and they've created turnovers. And I think Princeton needed that timeout to adjust to the situation that has changed since the start of this second quarter.
All right, the Tigers with the ball out of bounds at half court. As DeWitt gives it to St. Clair. St. Clair to Eads. Eads on the wing, right side. Back to St. Clair, top of the key. They go to DeWitt on the wing, left side. To St. Clair, top of the key. They bring it around to Eads. Eads back to St. Clair. Back to DeWitt. Now to Miller on the high post. Firing out of the lane. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound knocked loose. Picked up by Eads. Firing from the top of the key. Good. Eads puts the Tigers back on top. 18-17. As Stephon created that turnovers, he knocked the ball loose from Sullivan. And the Tigers on a straight-up man-to-man press. No zone trap. Just playing it man-to-man. And Crawford into the front court with it for Sullivan. Goes around St. Clair towards the right side. Holds it up at the wing. Gives it back to Johnson. He's on the point as they move it to Crawford. To Bacon. Goes down the lane. Fires no good. Rebound put back up on the end.
I believe it was Johnson on that.
Right. Johnson put it back up and in for Sullivan. 19-18. The Tigers are trailing by one, and Sullivan will press as Eads into the front court with it. To DeWitt, goes to the baseline, drives under, leaves it out for Miller. Miller goes under, lays it up and in on an assist from James DeWitt. 20-19, Tigers lead by one. As in the backcourt with it is Granville Arnold. He gets it over to Booney Crawford. Crawford into the front court with it for Sullivan North. Brings it down the left side, picked up by Eads. Gives it back to Bacon. Bacon goes to the high post with it. We are to light, and we got a whistle on a foul. Is that on Stephon?
From James DeWitt, his first. Team foul number 5.
All right.
But Glenn, the official who called that, could not have possibly seen the foul call because James DeWitt had his back to the official who called the, I'm not saying it was a bad call, but I'm just saying he couldn't have seen that call.
Okay. We got your message. Sinking call. So on the free throw line for Sullivan North. First one is no good. Who's shooting it?
Tim Light. Number 31, Tim Light.
Right. As Light misses the first one, he'll have a second one. The 4.5 minutes to play in the first half. Tigers lead by one. As Light misses the second one, Miller rebounds in traffic. Holds it up, gives it to St. Clair. Jeff directing traffic, gives it to Eads. Eads in the backcourt with it. Works it toward the front court, gives it back to St. Clair. They go to Miller. Miller's in the front court, so the Tigers beat the press. To St. Clair down the right side. Holds it up, gives it across court to Eads. As Eads gives it to St. Clair, and they'll start the offense from there. They bring DeWitt to the right side, and St. Clair brings over his.
The coach is telling them to come out and play him.
And we've got Phillips in the ball game for Princeton. As Phillips with the ball on the wing right side, flips it across court to James DeWitt. DeWitt gives it outside to Jeff St. Clair. To Mike Eads on the wing right side. Eads dribbling in toward the lane, back outside now. Starts it back in again. Gives it to James DeWitt in the corner. Goes to the baseline, fires off the baseline, puts up the air ball. No good. Rebound pulled down by Johnson off Sullivan North. Into the front court, lays it out for Arnold, puts it up and in. Arnold on the drive. 21-20. The Tigers trail by one now. As St. Clair will bring it to the front court for Princeton. Starts it down the left side, breaks it into the lane, goes into the lane, shovels it over to DeWitt, comes across the lane, now he backs it out of trouble. They go to Eads, goes into the lane, fall away, no good. Rebound pulled off by Sullivan. As they go outside with it, try and get it to Crawford, overthrow it. Sullivan North running on the Tigers.
They are, and they're getting that. They're getting Rudy Crawford and the other guard out in the open. They're staying away from the backboards, and they're getting them open.
They're waiting on their big three to rebound, and everybody else and the other two are releasing. 21-20, the Tigers trail by one with 3 minutes to play in the first half. As Mike Eaves gives it to Jeff St. Clair. Jeff starts it toward the front court, gives it back to Eaves. Eaves holds it overhead, gets into the front court to James DeWitt. Gets it to Miller in the lane. They double team him, and we got off. Is that an offensive foul on Miller?
I believe they called.
Surely not.
Pushing off. Again, no. Well, yes, it is.
That's 3 on Jim.
Princeton wants another timeout.
Well, Paul's going to talk about that, but that's a stinking call. 2:48 left to play in the first half. Sullivan North 21, Princeton 20. We'll be back right after this. So Jim Miller picking up his third foul here in the first half, and the Tigers are faced with foul problem.
Sure. Well, the only player in this ball game with more than one foul is Jimmy Miller, and he has 3.
And that gives us foul problems.
That gives us definite foul problems. Princeton's been outscored in this second quarter, 5 field goals to 2.
As the Tigers huddling around Coach Ralph Ball, really they're sitting on the bench and Ralph standing up talking to them. Sullivan North already back on the floor. Now they call it an offensive foul, or they call it a loose ball foul, let them shoot. What are they going to do?
Called it pushing off, pushing foul. I don't think it was an offensive
How can he
foul.
keep pushing? He has his hands on the ball. He had the ball. And they hit
Well,
all
they
three
called it
times.
offensive. I'm not sure.
It's going to be out of bounds to Sullivan North. 2:48 left to play in the first half. And the Tigers still haven't come off that bench. Now they're coming out. Ralph gives talking to Jeff Adams. Jeff Adams coming into the ball game.
Jimmy has a little bit of a limp.
And so now the Tigers will play a man-to-man as they'll press it there as they get it into McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets it to Crawford, and Crawford will bring it to the front court for Sullivan North. Crawford starts it to the right side, still out on the point position, now holds it up top of the key, brings it across court to Johnson, firing beside the key, in and out, no good. Rebound fought for, tipped outside, picked up by Eaves, but there's a foul underneath. I think Adams is going to collect the foul shot on that one.
It was on Granville Arnold, his first, team foul number 3. It'll just be the ball out of bounds.
As DeWitt will inbound it for the Tigers in the backcourt, gives it into St. Clair to Eaves. Eaves on the far side as Bruce Bacon playing the defense against him. As Eaves into the front court down the left side, he got Need over there.
Stepped out of bounds.
And they call him for stepping out of bounds. 21-20. Tigers trailing by 1. Sullivan North with the ball as Crawford brings it to the front court, brings it toward the left side, starts it back toward the top of the key. Changes it up, still bring it back, and St. Clair has it knocked loose and picked up by Bacon of Sullivan. He gets it back to Crawford. Crawford starts to back his way in again. Starts down now, holds up the dribble, gives it back outside to Bacon. Bacon across the top of the key with it. He cuts him off. They go across court. They drop it down low to McLaughlin. Puts the shot up, no good. Rebound fought for. Put back up by Johnson. Put up again by Arnold. Good. Granville Arnold puts it up and in for Sullivan. 23-20. The Tigers trail with 1:44 to play in the first half. As he's in the backcourt with it. Gives it to St. Clair. Jeff into the front court. And Jeff is forward out there. Let's see what they call. As Arnold called for the foul on St. Clair, 2 on Arnold. Team foul number 4 on Sullivan. Coming into the ball game for Sullivan North will be Tim Light.
Much slower pace than I expected.
As St. Clair, top of the key with it now for the Tigers. To DeWitt on the right side, goes to the baseline. Takes the shot, doesn't take it, has the ball knocked loose out of bounds. It'll be Tiger ball on the baseline. They'll take it on the right side of the bucket. As once they get the ball out of the crowd. As DeWitt will pull the trigger. Kicks it outside to Jeff St. Clair. Jeff firing from 20 feet off the iron, no good. Rebound, fought for, brought down by Sullivan as Light brings it down. He gets it out to Crawford. Crawford into the front court where it comes to the top of the key. The Light in the corner. Light holds it up, trying to get it underneath. His kick by one of the Tigers. It'll be out to Sullivan North. As Sullivan North will play it off the baseline. As they bring it out to Crawford. Crawford puts it on the floor. Gives it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin on the point. They bring it around the horn into Bacon. Bacon on the near side. Trying to drop it underneath. Taken away by Adams. Adams overthrows. Intercepted by Sullivan. And they put the shot up no good. And this time the rebound comes off to Adams as Jeff controls. Gives it to Eads. Eads gets it to St. Clair. St. Clair under pressure. Gets it to the front court. On the right side to DeWitt. DeWitt on the wing. Goes to the wing. He'll fire. Good. From 23 feet. 23 to 22. The Tigers down by 1 with 39 seconds to play in the first half. As Bacon brings it to the front court for Sullivan North. Gives it to Scott Johnson. Johnson gives it back outside to Crawford. Crawford will start the offense. Crawford goes down the right side on the wing position. Gives it outside to McLaughlin. Starts it toward the lane. Gets it to Bacon. He'll fire from the side of the key off the glass. No good. Rebound front court. Come down there by Eads as Eads controls for the Tigers. Mike to the front court left side. Holds it up, waits for the traffic to clear, gives it to St. Clair. With 11 seconds to play in the first half, the Tigers trail by 1. Eads with the ball on the wing, left side. He'll fire from 25 feet. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound, front court, tips outside, picked up by St. Clair with 2 seconds. Through the lane, fires. It's good. The score at halftime will be the Tigers 24, Sullivan North 23 as the last second basket by St. Clair gave the Tigers the lead. We'll be back with halftime activities right after this. Halftime score 24 to 23. Tigers leading is in the first quarter. The Tigers got 16 points, 8 points in the second quarter for a halftime score of 24. Sullivan North had 11 in the first quarter, 12 in the second quarter. To have a halftime total of 23. And we'll be back with all individual stats. First, let's pause for this.
In reverse for Sullivan North of Coach John McCary. Mooney Crawford had 3 field goals, 6 points. Scott Johnson, 2 field goals, 4 points. Brand Malone, 5 field goals, 1 of 2 from the foul line, 11 points. Derek McLaughlin, 1 field goal for 2 points. Tim Light did not hit any free throws for no points. He had two attempts. For Princeton, Mike Eads, 3 field goals, 6 points. Jeff St. Clair, who hit the last second field goal to give Princeton the lead at halftime, 1 field goal, 2 points. James DeWitt, 3 field goals, 6 points. Jimmy Miller, 5 field goals, 10 points, and 3 personal fouls. Total, Princeton 12 field goals. Sullivan North, 11 field goals, 1 of 4 at the foul line. So far, not a good foul shooting night. Princeton has not had a foul shooting opportunity. Charlie Wright.
Okay, for Princeton tonight, they have hit 12 out of 24, 1 for 57%. Sullivan North has hit 11 out of 29 for 38%. Princeton has pulled down 14 rebounds compared to Sullivan North's 13. Princeton has committed 8 turnovers compared to 3 turnovers for Sullivan North. Craig?
Alrighty, we're at the Dobyns-Bennett Coliseum, I guess you call it, and we'll be back with a very special halftime guest we'll be talking to right after this commercial. I'm Craig May, and I'm sitting high above the playing floor of the Dobyns-Bennett High School Athletic Complex in Kingsport, Tennessee. And alongside, I've got the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, a fellow by the name of Don DeVoe. And first of all, Coach, we want to welcome you aboard.
Well, thank you, Craig. It's good to be here tonight. You get a good indication of what kind of athletic facilities we have in some of the high schools in Upper East Tennessee. This is really a beautiful facility, isn't it?
No doubt about it. In fact, it's undoubtedly the best high school, strictly high school facility I have seen.
And actually, there's 4 other facilities very similar to this within about 30-mile radius of here. So we really have some very fine facilities here in Upper East Tennessee.
I'm very fortunate to have such facilities. Coach, we're from southern West Virginia, and we're visiting with the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, and we're in your home turf now. And I'm sure that you have to like what you see when you see these 4 teams clash here, don't you?
Well, there's no any doubt. We have some very fine high school basketball here in the state of Tennessee, as you do in the state of West Virginia. And we're very proud because this is kind of an intersectional area tonight where you have Louisville Moore High School, and, of course, you have your very fine Princeton High School team. And then we have 2 very fine high school teams here from within Sullivan County, Tennessee. So it's going to work out that all the fans here in Upper East Tennessee, and in particular Sullivan County and Kingsport, will have a chance to see 4 very fine teams in action over the next 2 nights.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your program at the University of Tennessee. You got it on the move, and I must say we've been very much impressed with what we've seen of it so far.
Well, thank you. It's been a very surprise year in a sense because prior to the season, our basketball team at the University of Tennessee was not picked to be in any of the top 20 teams in the nation. And we have emerged, of course, to be in the top 10 for the last 4 weeks. And truly played some great team basketball. It's been a very, very fine season for us thus far. We've won 17 out of 21 games, and we really have just done a fine job of beating some teams very soundly.
Well, of course, now I can remember when Don DeVoe was head of the helm at Virginia Tech, which is just down the road from where we are, and I see on your finger an NIT championship ring. And then, of course, you made a winner out of Virginia Tech, and out west you did the same, and you seem to be doing the same thing here at Tennessee. I must say we're very impressed with your credentials so far, Coach.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed those years when I coached at Virginia Tech. Great memories. In fact, many of the people that are on my staff now were associated with me when I was coaching at Virginia Tech. Bobby Stevens, who made the winning basket against Notre Dame in the overtime game, is on my staff. And, of course, I have John Byers, who played on one of my teams at Virginia Tech, on my staff as a volunteer assistant. And Bob Burton, who was the head basketball coach at Narrows, at Christiansburg High School, and is from Narrows, Virginia, is on my staff. So I've kept close ties with the Virginia people.
Coach, of course, tonight we feel as though the area that we're from, southern West Virginia, we like to call it the pit of basketball, high school basketball, because we feel as though we play, the teams we turn out can play with just about anybody. And, well, down here we're playing with Sullivan North, of course. I don't think we're playing as well as we could, but we're still very much in the ball game.
Well, you certainly are. Anytime that you're only 1 point behind, you're always in the game when you get down to 1 second in the game, and you still might have a chance of throwing the ball in the basket. But it's going to be a tough game. There's no doubt about it, because in a sense you are the visiting team tonight.
Right.
And, of course, the people here are going to be cheering very loudly for Sullivan North. But, again, I think it's going to give your team a chance to find out what it's like to have to play an interstate-type game or an intersectional-type game where you're playing against good competition. And Sullivan North is a very fine team.
Of course, the best talent that the Tigers have out there is undoubtedly in the form of Jimmy Miller. We ask your opinion on Jimmy Miller.
Well, Jimmy Miller is just an excellent basketball player. He's a very team-dedicated player, and he's the kind of player that we'd like to have at the University of Tennessee. You don't find players of Jimmy's size that are usually that quick and that aggressive in high school, and he certainly has that. We watched him several years ago when we were up there trying to recruit Alan Williams. We knew at that point in time that Jimmy would grow up and really be an outstanding prospect. And at this point in time, we're really following Jimmy's career closely. We'd very much like to have him wearing the Tennessee orange uniform down in Knoxville next year if at all possible.
All righty, Coach. We'll be back to talk a little bit more right after we return after this commercial message, so don't go away. We're back in Kingsport, Tennessee. I'm Craig May, and I'm talking with the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, Don DeVoe. And, Coach, of course, you play in the SEC, which is one of the toughest conferences in the nation.
There's no doubt that there's not a team in our league that is truly weak this year. Everybody is capable of beating one another. In fact, we're in third place right now, and, of course, one of our 4 losses was to Auburn, a team that is in last place. And just the other night, we beat Florida, a team that was in 8th place. So we won by a margin of 1 point. So it's a real tough league. We have 3 teams right now in our conference that are ranked in the top 10 in the nation. Of course, LSU is unbeaten in the conference. They're in first place. Kentucky is in second place, and they're ranked in the top 10. And, of course, ourselves, we're in third place. So we're mighty proud of SEC basketball. We've made a lot of progress, and hope we'll make it even more progress in the near future.
Well, Coach, we want to wish you the best of luck throughout the remainder of the season. Of course, you got some tough games coming up. But usually, a team gets 20 wins, and in a conference such as the SEC, they can pretty much count on the NCAA bid.
Well, I think one thing you must do, you must play well at the end of the year. And if we can finish the season on a high note, we do have a chance of getting into the NCAA, and that's what our goal is. We've been in the NCAA the last 2 years, and I'm just hopeful we can get there again this year. And I want to wish you and all the Princeton Tiger fans the best of luck as you try to win that state championship again.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you stopping by, and we'll be back with the second half tip-off right after this.
As I get my headset back on after Coach Don DeVoe leaves, and they tell us that the UT program is looking good in the SEC right now. I'm trying to get ready for the SEC tournament. Okay, Bob, Charlie, assessments the first half.
Well, Glenn, I thought Princeton did very good in the first quarter. They shot 72%, but there in the second quarter, they took the last drive first. They committed 2 big turnovers. I thought that was key to that second half, the first half there itself.
Well, it was a much
slower tempo than I thought it would be. A low-scoring game, 24-23, and we're ready for the tip-off.
All right, Miller in to jump against Granville Arnold of Sullivan North. The Tigers lead by 1, 24-23 at halftime. As the official now moves in. And a tip controlled by Sullivan North. As Miller tipped it, but Sullivan North grabbed it. Sullivan North goes to the offense as Scott Johnson with the ball. Leaves it for Crawford. Crawford will start the offense, gives it to McLaughlin, firing offside of Keno, and Miller really skied to pull it down. Feeds it out to St. Clair, driving good, and he is fouled as the Tigers getting out to run as Miller pulled it off and kicked it outside, and the Tigers win. Bucket was good by St. Clair. Tigers go up by 3.
I believe that foul was on Granville Arnold. If it is, it's his third.
Well, I hope that's a good place for it to be.
Booney Crawford.
It's on Crawford. Well, that's all right. We'd like to have one on him, too. That's his second foul. Team foul number 1 on Sullivan North in the second half, of course. As St. Clair on the line for the Tigers, fires the free throw good. 27-23. Tigers out by 4 now, and the Tigers will press. As Sullivan North in the backcourt with it, Crawford with the ball. Moves it toward the front court down the right side. Gets it into the front court as they get it to McLaughlin. Goes to the lane, travel, no call on it. Feeds it back outside to Crawford. Goes down the lane, now goes travel again. And Miller comes up with the ball in traffic. Miller puts it to the floor, dribbling into the front court with it. Picks it into the lane, goes down, lays it up and in. Jim Miller. Where's the court? How about them at 3? As Sullivan North picks it back to the front court with the ball. As I keep turning my mic down, I know I'm blowing Teresa or Bob or somebody back out there. As Arnold, as Crawford firing from outside off the iron, no good. Rebound taken by Sullivan underneath, put up no good. Rebound ball down this time by Eads as the Tigers control. As Eads with the ball, left hand dribble into the front court, brings it to the left side. Still on the dribble with it, backs it out, lifts it to the situation, gives it to St. Clair. Sullivan in a 2-3 zone. Miller on the low post. As St. Clair with the ball on the point, gives it to Eads. They go to Stefan on the low baseline, got it. Stefan on the low post, puts it up and in on a feed from DeWitt, and I miscalled it. 31-23. Tigers out by 8 now. As Sullivan comes back with Crawford firing no good, and it bounces over the backboard out of bounds. And did you see Granville Arnold hit the deck?
I saw Jimmy Miller on the play before he hit the deck. And, you know, in this third quarter, I've seen the tip-off was controlled. The man moved it across the half-court, took one dribble, stepped across the half-court line, stood there a minute, held the ball, and then dribbled on in.
So the Tigers with a lead of 31-23 with 6.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. If I get my watch set right, we're going to pause 30 seconds for this message. Here in the third quarter, we got 6.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Boy, in a minute and a half of play, the Tigers look pretty good there.
Well, the Tigers rolled off 7 points, and Sullivan North has yet to score. It's kind of a sloppy ball game. At least Sullivan North, from what I've seen of Sullivan North.
I think both teams feel a little bit of pressure here tonight. What do you think?
I think so, too, especially, well, not from the start, but it seemed like Princeton in the second quarter, it seemed like a little bit of the pressure myself, more than the first quarter.
When did they announce the attendance? During the first quarter, so they heard it in the second quarter?
Yeah.
All right, Tigers to the offense now. Aziz with the ball. Gives it to St. Clair. St. Clair into the front court with it to DeWitt. DeWitt on the wing, right side. Starts it toward the corner, gives it back outside to St. Clair, top of the key. They come to Eads on the wing, left side. We got a whistle and a 3-second call underneath on the Tigers. That's the turnover. 31-23. Now, the Sullivan North call was timeout in the second quarter and took control. Let's see what they do this time. Tigers now playing a basic face-up man-to-man. Is into the front court with Johnson for Sullivan. Gives it outside to Crawford. Firing with the top of the key. It's off the iron. No good. Miller with the ball in traffic. And, boy, he really ripped it loose. Gets it out to Stefan Strain. Strain holds it up. Waits for St. Clair to come to him. Gives him the ball. Jeff will start the offense. As Jeff St. Clair to Eads. Eads on the wing, left side. Looking underneath. Turns it around. Puts it back outside to St. Clair. To DeWitt. DeWitt on the wing on the other side. Firing from 25 feet off the iron. No good. Rebound. Taken by Sullivan. As they run over top of St. Clair, they go down the fast break. Put it up. No good. Rebound. Put up. No good. Rebound to Cole. Knocked out of bounds for the Tigers as the way called out of bounds off of DeWitt. As Sullivan North has the snowbird wide open and blew it twice.
St. Clair got run over. Now, it may have been his fault, but he sure got run over.
He was standing there and the guy really decked him. As Sullivan inbounds it, knocked loose, picked up by St. Clair. The Tigers come to the offense. St. Clair into the front court with it. Goes down, trying to get it to Miller. Has the kick loose, picked up by St. Clair. It's loose on the floor, and still is on the floor. Down control with Sullivan North. He's standing on the baseline. There's a wrestling match out there. As the ball thrown way out there. Boy, there is a real scramble. And Stefan roll-blocked him, and now there's people and bodies all over the floor. I see 6 people laying on the floor.
That is undoubtedly the most dangerous piece of officiating I have ever seen.
I told you in the first half the officiating was stinking.
That was terrible.
You wouldn't believe me.
That ball was everywhere.
These officials are too slow to keep up with the game here tonight. 31-23, and it'll be out of there. That foul call on Stefan, by the way, Bob. Put it down. Now, Sullivan North to the offense. Bacon with the ball. Holding it out front. Starts it toward the top of the key. To the far side with it. To McLaughlin goes under drive. They hit the bucket. It's good. Was that Arnold or Bacon hitting that? I can't see.
It was Tim Light.
I didn't have either one of them right. Tim Light in the ball game for Sullivan. He hit the bucket. 31-25. The Tigers lead by 6 with 5:07 to play in the third quarter. And that foul was called on.
Stefan spraying his third.
That's the number 3 on Stefan. And it'll put Light on the free throw line. Team foul number 2 on Sullivan North. There's Light fires. It's good. 31-26. Tigers lead by 5 now with 5 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the third quarter. As Sullivan will press. St. Clair with the ball in the backcourt for the Tigers. Gives it to Eads. Eads into the front court with it. Gives it back to Jeff St. Clair. He'll start the offense. As Eads on the wing. Starts it toward the baseline. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. He's on the point. They come to the wit on the near side. They kick in the middle on the high post in traffic. Hooking out of the lane. No good. Rebound comes down to Sullivan North. As one of the North players sitting on the floor. They get it out to Johnson. Johnson into the front court on the dribble. Holds it up. And they'll give it to Booney Crawford. He'll start the offense. Booney is short for what?
That's the only thing that's listed in the program.
As Bacon with the ball right now for Sullivan. Gives it back to Crawford. There goes the baseline to Johnson, firing no good. Rebound goes to the floor, fought for. He's in the middle of scramble. We got to tie up. And again, we've got 4 bodies on the floor out there. And you know, will these teams be able to play tomorrow night after this kind of physical activity bouncing off the floor and so forth? Well, it's a shame you let officiating damage young players.
But you know, they say in the northern part of West Virginia they let them play. Well, they must let them play down here because they don't call the walks.
We're down here to play football. We came down here to play basketball. And I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's the way I feel about it. Jump ball, controlled by Sullivan North, stolen by Jeff St. Clair. Jeff beats it to Eads. Eads into the front court with it. Down the left side. Backs his way toward the lane. Gives it outside to Jeff St. Clair. He'll start the offense. To James DeWitt on the wing. Starts it toward the baseline. Drops it underneath the Miller. It's knocked loose. Picked up by Sullivan North. They're out and running with it. As they've got Crawford on the move. Ball knocked loose. Now picked up underneath the knockout. We got a foul on St. Clair. And that's 2 on Jeff. Team foul number 3 on the Tigers.
Now, Glenn, right there, you had a 3-second call that was missed completely.
Well, they missed one down here a while ago with the Tigers, and everybody was coming down for the ball. They've been there for 17 seconds.
I'm not sure I could have figured that out with the program where the people were falling and the bodies were going.
31-26. Tigers lead with 3:57 left to play in the third quarter. We'll be back right after this. 3:57 left to play in the third quarter. Tigers leading by 5. Tigers started out strong, but now they kind of let off just a little bit here. They came out and scored 7 points, and now Sullivan North has fought back and scored about 3. But the game is very, very physical, very, very rough. And I guess you could almost call it a soccer match out here because they're dressed out like soccer players. You know, the teams are wearing shorts and T-shirts, undershirt type thing, and kicking the ball around. And the officials letting it go.
We've seen a lot of bodies on the floor tonight, haven't we?
Well, we have.
All over.
Looks like roller derby most of the time.
That's true.
Whatever roller derby looks like. Sullivan North will inbound it. As they bring it into the corner. Give it outside to Light. Light goes to the lane, drops it underneath to Arnold. It's knocked loose by DeWitt. Picked up by St. Clair, and as he falls out of bounds, he kicked it into James DeWitt. As DeWitt into the front court with it. Drops it to Eads. Eads in the lane. Wheels down the lane. It's knocked loose. Picked up by Miller. Miller puts it on the glass. No good. Miller rebounds. Goes up. Puts it up. No good. My Lord, why come you don't get a foul? And now DeWitt puts it up and in. And boy, they really stuffed him in there. That kid grabbed the ball and got punched right in the side of the head and deck. He really stuffed it. I don't know who hit him, but these officials are our coaches.
Bring the pads out.
Sullivan North to the front court with it now. They give it to Johnson. Backs his way in. Drops it outside. Picked up by Bacon. Gives it to Crawford. Fired in the corner. Good. Booney Crawford. Crawford hits it for Sullivan. 33-28. And the official finally did the only thing he can do tonight. He can take the ball and knock the net down off the basket. That's the first good thing I've seen him do. As St. Clair brings it to the front court for the Tigers to Eads. As Phillips gets into the ball again for the Tigers to get some physical bulk out of there. DeWitt with the ball on the wing, far side. Back to St. Clair, top of the key. They go to Miller, high post, spinning, firing, good. Miller puts the Tigers up 35-28 with 2:50 to play in the third quarter. As Sullivan North with the ball, Johnson with it, goes to the right side. Starts it toward the baseline, picks it up, gives it back outside to Crawford. Firing from outside, good. Booney Crawford from 20 feet, and that kid can shoot. Boy, don't take anything away from him. 35-30. Tigers lead by 5. DeWitt with the ball in the front court. Gives it to St. Clair. St. Clair back to DeWitt. DeWitt goes toward the corner. Firing from outside. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound pulled out by Sullivan North. And pulling it down was Scott Johnson. He gets it over to Crawford. Crawford into the front court with it. Check it. That is Bruce Bacon into the front court with it. As Bacon holds it high overhead, looking underneath now. Gives it to Crawford. Crawford comes toward the top of the key, goes into the lane and fires. It's no good. Rebound pulled out by Miller in traffic. He is fouled underneath by, looks like Granville Arnold got him. That's number 3 on Arnold. That's team foul number 2 on Sullivan North.
Well, that equalizes the 2 stars for these teams going into the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. Both have 3 fouls, Jimmy Miller and Granville Arnold.
As the Tigers come to the offense, Mike Eads brings it to the front court. On the left-hand dribble, down the left side. As they pick him up, double team him, he's still dribbling, fits it back outside to Jeff St. Clair. Jeff takes it across the top of the horn. To DeWitt on the wing. Backs his way in. Jump on North Clair, feeds it back outside to St. Clair. We got away with one there to Eads. Drives underneath, fakes. Fires up the baseline, no good. Phillips pulled like somebody, and they caught him with that. I think he hit Tim Light. He got his money's worth. That's number 1 on Phillips, team foul number 4 on the Tigers. But now DeWitt got his money's worth over it, and he get called. I mean, they're missing it both ways. It's just they shouldn't have to be this physical. Somebody get hurt. As Sullivan inbounds it. As Phillips goes for the field, doesn't get it. And now Sullivan North comes up floor with it into the front court. As they leave it for Bacon. Bruce Bacon with the ball. Moves it toward the top of the key. Goes into the top of the key. Drops it on the low post to Arnold. Arnold can't get the shot. On Mike Eads. Okay, maybe so. Eads might have been underneath. That's number 1 on Mike. Team foul number 5 on the Tigers. But Miller felt they called it on him, and he really wasn't in the play.
I thought the man walked. Double dribble there, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, don't.
You know, this is one of the things we may not realize. The Cards, Derek McLaughlin is 6'5". Tony Crawford's what, 6'1"? It's a very big team. It looks to me like they carry the ball an awful lot. It doesn't look like they're fundamentally sound.
As the free throw is good, the first one by Granville Arnold, he'll have a second one. 35-31, Tigers lead now shrunk to 4 points. As Arnold on the line to shoot one more. Taking plenty of time, and the official not even counting. Now he fires. It's good. You know, that official didn't even have a count on him for 10 seconds. 3-point lead for the Tigers as Jeff St. Clair gives it to Mike Eads. Mike into the front court, down the right side with it. Gives it back to St. Clair. To DeWitt, he's on the wing left side. Back to St. Clair, top of the key. They go to Miller on the high post. Drops underneath to Phillips, plays it up and in. A feed from Miller as they double teamed him to Phillips, and Phillips got the bucket. 37-32. Tigers lead by 5 as Sullivan gets it into the front court. Down the left side with it is Johnson. He gives it back outside, and Crawford with the ball now. Booney Crawford gives it to Bacon as Bruce Bacon feeds it across court to Scott Johnson. They go underneath with it to Arnold. Arnold double team, brings it back outside, flips it across court to Johnson. Johnson goes underneath. Now they give it back to Arnold, shooting from the high post. Good. Granville Arnold, 37-34. Tigers lead by 3 now with 39 seconds to play in the third quarter. As Mike Eads into the front court with it for the Tigers. To Jeff St. Clair, standing out at half court, waiting for the clock to run down or whatever. 28 seconds.
Which is Sullivan North End? A 2-2-1 or a 2-3?
Roll down the 1-3-1 zone. And one man will come out and put pressure on. So Mike Eads with the ball on the far side now, standing out there. As Crawford stands out there halfway in between them, gives it across to Jeff St. Clair. 12 seconds on the clock. And Crawford almost had the steal and a foul. Call on Crawford, I believe. Got to be on Crawford. He's the only one out there. That's number 3 on Crawford. Team foul number 3 on Sullivan North. So with 9 seconds on the clock, the Tigers will have the ball out of bounds. Eads will inbound it, gives it to St. Clair in the backcourt, gives it to Mike Eads, goes to the wing position, to Phillips in the corner, drives the baseline, gives it to Miller in traffic, working, firing off the baseline, good. So with 1 second, that's the buzzer. At the end of the third quarter of play, the Princeton Tigers 39, the Sullivan North Golden Raiders 34. We'll be back right after this.
It's the smiling, shining feeling, the light of a brand new day. And you're the Pepsi generation, you're the spirit of today.
Bottled and distributed by the Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company of Princeton, Incorporated.
1,000% from the free throw line. 1 for 1.
Okay. Tigers only had 1 free throw all night. They made it, though.
That's right. That was Jeff St. Clair on a 3-point play. Jeff St. Clair has come in with some key baskets, and you can't really say a key free throw when there's been only 1 for the Princeton team. Princeton has 18 field goals, 1 for 1 at the foul line. Sullivan North 15 field goals, 4 for 7 from the line. Jimmy Miller 3 fouls. Stephon Strain 3, Granville Arnold 3. Big scores, Jimmy has picked up 8 field goals for 16 points. And Charlie?
Okay, for Princeton tonight, in third quarter, they made 7 of 12 for 58%. They pulled down 8 rebounds, committed 4 turnovers. For Sullivan North in the third quarter, they was 4 of 14 for 28%. They pulled down 6 rebounds and committed 3 turnovers. So, very fine shooting for Princeton so far, I think.
We're ready to go for the fourth and final quarter as Jim Miller in to jump against Granville Arnold of Sullivan North. Arnold is in, Miller is in, and the official puts it up. Miller tips it. It's controlled by Sullivan North as again they beat the Tigers to the ball. As he gives it outside to Booney Crawford. He'll start the offense. Now he moves it over to Bruce Bacon. And Bacon still dribbling, gives it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin way out high with it. They go to Crawford in the corner, firing out of the corner. And boy, he really put that one in the rafters and dropped it. Booney Crawford from downtown, 39-36. The Tigers leading by 3 now. St. Clair will bring it to the front court. Gives it to Mike Eads on the left side. Starts it inside, gives it back outside to St. Clair. To DeWitt. DeWitt on the wing. Gives it back to Eads in the lane. He's firing from the top of the key. Good. Mike Eads puts the Tigers up 41-36. As Crawford gives it to the front court to Johnson. Johnson gives it back outside to Crawford. He's on the wing. Brings it across court. They bring it to Bacon. Bacon holds it overhead. Comes down the near side. Gives it to Crawford in the corner. As Crawford looking underneath. Drops it underneath to Johnson. He's trying to muscle his way in. And the ball knocked out of bounds. And no call on the foul. Just out of bounds to Sullivan North.
He took 2 pigeon steps into Jimmy Miller.
Coming into the ball game will be Greg Powers of Sullivan North.
And Bruce Bacon will go out.
As Sullivan will inbound it. Tigers in a 2-3 zone for this inbound play. As they bring it outside to Crawford, firing from 20 feet. It's in and out, no good. Rebound underneath by Arnold. He is fouled by James DeWitt, I believe.
It is on DeWitt.
And that's 2 on James DeWitt. Team foul number 5 on the Tigers. That's a shooting foul, number 6 on the Tigers. So a team foul. And so he will shoot. So we will have Granville Arnold on the free throw line to shoot. 1-on-1, I guess. So with these officials, I ain't nothing certain.
Granville Arnold 3 for 4 tonight from the foul line.
As Arnold ready. 41-36. Tigers leading by 5. We've got 7 minutes to play in the ball game. Very slow-paced ball game right now. As Arnold fires, it's good. He'll have a second one. 41-37. Now it's a 4-point ball game. Tigers lead. 7 minutes and 1 second to play in the ball game. Tigers play again tomorrow night up at Sullivan North High School. They'll play Dobyns-Bennett up there. And Dobyns-Bennett beat Sullivan North for 1 point here the last time they played. As Granville Arnold fires, it's good. 41-38, 3-point ball game. As Crawford pressing for the Sullivan North team. As Eads brings it to the front court for the Tigers. Down the right side, they go to Phillips in the corner. Brings it across court to St. Clair into the lane. Trying to get it into Miller. Has it taken loose. As Arnold picks it up and he dumped Miller. He feeds it outside to Powers. Powers double team. Gets it back to Crawford. Into the front court with it for Sullivan North. As Powers with the ball, gives it to Crawford. He'll start the offense. As Powers with the ball, as he gives it to Arnold. Arnold way out high, firing check at it was McLaughlin. We should have a 6 seconds call. As McLaughlin coming out to take the shot, and it was no good. They turned it over on the 3-second violation. 41-38. Tigers lead by 3. As Eads works it slowly toward the front court for the Tigers. Down the left side with it. Holds it up, bounce pass to St. Clair. Jeff goes across the horn. They go to Phillips in the corner, far side. Gives it back outside to St. Clair. Back to Phillips, deep in the corner with it. Back outside with it to St. Clair. Jeff gives it across to Eads. Eads on the wing this side. He'll fire from 20 feet. It's off the iron. No good. Rebound fought for. Miller's got it. Puts it up and in. Phillips, check it. David Phillips up there with it. Good job. 43-38. Tigers up by 5. As Sullivan North comes back to the front court with it. Outside is Booney Crawford handling the ball. They go on the high post to McLaughlin. McLaughlin brings it to the near side to Scott Johnson. Works on the wit. Can't get around him. Porks in now. Fires. Puts it on the iron. No good. Rebound put up by Arnold. No good. Miller rebounds for the Tigers. Slips it out to St. Clair. Jeff into the front court. Drives. Lays it up. No good. Rebound pulled down by Sullivan and Miller. Blocked the outlet pass. Took the shot. Phillips again. That is Phillips. I'm confusing twice. David Phillips. I didn't know David could get up that high. 45-38 Tigers up as Sullivan comes back with a long shot by Crawford. Good. 45-40. Tigers up by 5 with 5 minutes and 17 seconds to play. As he's into the front court, he works all over Crawford. Crawford leans on him, and he gave it over to St. Clair. St. Clair gives it back to Eads. Top of the key. Goes into the lane. Drops it to Phillips in the corner. Drives the baseline. Fires off the baseline. No good. Rebound run down by St. Clair. As Jeff circles outside with it to set the offense. Gives it across court to Mike Eads. As Mike puts it on the floor, starts it down to the wing position, gives it to Phillips deep in the corner, again back to St. Clair across court with it. As Jeff now backs it out of trouble. We've got 4:47 to play in the ball game. As Eads and St. Clair pass it back and forth, they give it to Witt in the corner left side. Starts into the lane. Fires on the jump shot, no good. Rebound goes to the corner, pulled down by Eads as Mike Eads out scrambles everybody for it. Throws it out front. Covered by St. Clair as St. Clair comes out of the scramble with the ball.
The hustling play.
As Jeff dribbling with it, brings it toward the left side, gives it back to Eads. Eads on the far side with it, gives it back to St. Clair. As he's on for Sullivan North, not doing a job. Now we got a whistle and a foul. They called an offensive foul on Eads. Or is that on?
No, it's on number 13 of Sullivan North.
Craig Powers. And how many is that? 4th team foul on them?
4th team foul, first on Powers.
It'll be out of bounds to the Tigers. So Powers comes out of the ball game. And the Tigers will have it out of bounds as the Witt inbounds it to Miller on the low post. They double team him. Fires off the glass. Got it. 47-40. Tigers up by 7 now. 4 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the ball game. Inbounds pass to Crawford. Crawford into the front court. Eads comes up behind him, trying to knock it loose. Cannot. As Crawford picks it up. Gives it to Bacon. Goes into the high post to Johnson. Firing. Good. Scott Johnson hits it for Sullivan. 47-42. A 5-point ball game as Crawford pressing for Sullivan North. He gets it to Eads. Eads into the front court with it for the Tigers to DeWitt. Deep in the corner with it. Dribbles one time. Gives it back to Eads into the lane. Goes down the lane. Fires. In and out. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by Johnson to Sullivan. Out on the run with it. They throw it away as he was trying to hit Scott Johnson, and over as the Bill Penman fly pattern. Of course, you know Bill Penman fly pattern never worked.
Is that the sidekick of John Robinson?
Oh, yeah.
Shady John Robinson.
Shady John. Mike Eads into the front court with it for the Tigers. Now on the dribble, gets around on one man, starts it toward the baseline, gives it back outside to St. Clair. They go to DeWitt on the wing. He's on the right side. Looking underneath. Phillips and Miller, both of them playing a low post, a double low post. Now they bring him to the high post. St. Clair directing traffic. As they're going to bring it to the left side, they do to Phillips. Phillips, double team, gives it back outside to St. Clair. Jeff takes the pass to the other way, brings it back to the Witt as he comes to the wing left side. Goes to the baseline. We got a whistle and a foul on Johnson. That's on Scott Johnson. That's number 5. That's number 5. Put DeWitt on the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1.
Surprisingly, Johnson may not be the tallest, but he's one of the bulkier players out there, and that's only his first foul.
47-42, Tigers lead with 3:11 left to play in the ball game, and Sullivan North wants a timeout. So a timeout on the floor. Let's say time in for this message.
You kind of cushions your ball on him. It's all right.
Okay, tell everybody about that.
we were just talking about the finesse of these two teams. I'd have to say that Sullivan North the more
criticizing officiating.
No, we weren't criticizing. I never criticized officiating. It's been
my daddy told me one time she go to purgatory for life.
Oh my goodness, how long have I got?
No, thank you. They come by and offer soft drinks. Help yourself to one, Bob, if you want. Thank you. 47-42. The Tigers are leading by 5 with 3:11 to play. We'll have James DeWitt on the free throw line for the Tigers to shoot a 1-on-1. For the Tigers, we come back with Jim Miller, David Phillips, Jeff St. Clair, Mike Eads, and James DeWitt. Wet Buckland's no good. As DeWitt fires the first free throw, good. 48-42. Tigers lead by 6. As DeWitt with one more. He fires, it's in and out, no good. Rebound pulled down by Tim Light of Sullivan North. He gets it outside to Crawford. Crawford into the front court with it, takes it to the corner, jump shot from 20 feet. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound put up by Light, take it off, put up again by Johnson, I believe. No, it's Arnold putting it up. He's fouled. Now, who's that on?
Jimmy Miller. Number 4.
That's number 4 on Jim. That's number 4 on Jim. We got 2 minutes and 58 seconds to play. Princeton 48, Sullivan North 42, and they will have Granville Arnold on the free throw line.
Granville Arnold on the night is 5 of 6 from the foul line.
He missed his very first one. That didn't change trajectory on. He's did everything since. Arnold's ready to play. He's ready to fire. Maybe. He's still holding the ball. Now he's dribbling again. I'm going to put a stopwatch on him next time he gets the ball. Craig's got it on him now. He fires. It's good. How long did it take him? 8.5 seconds. Okay. He's got the ball. So he's still posing, still prancing, still flipping. He'll dribble again. And, hey, he went over 10 seconds, no call. He made it, though. We had the stopwatch on him. He went 10.5 seconds.
Well, the man made the call, but the official didn't.
So 48-44. Tigers leading by 4 now with 2:56 to play. In the ball game as Jeff St. Clair walks it to the front court for the Tigers. Brings it across the center circle, holds it out there for a moment. Still on the move with it on the dribble. Starts it down the right side. Picks it up. Gets it to Eads. Eads on the wing. A double team him. Eads fights his way through a screen. Goes to the baseline. Comes back outside. Fights his way through another block. As they bounce him again. So he bounces it off. Tim Light's leg and out of bounds. It'll be Tiger ball out of bounds. And the Tigers want a timeout. So 48-44 with 2:36 to play in the ball game. This falls for this message.
A different kind of ball game.
Well, Sullivan North believes in the theory, if you hit him hard enough this time, he won't shoot as well next time.
Are we on the air?
Yes.
Well, for one, I don't know about anybody else here, but I look for a different style of basketball. I look for a whole lot more finesse, and I look for a little more speed from the Sullivan North team. Maybe we'll get it tomorrow night, but this is not the kind of basketball game I anticipated.
I agree with you, Bob. I thought it would be a fast-paced ball game, really. I thought they would have, run and gun, have their big players underneath, clearing the board.
I want to make sure I get Sammy Barker's name on the air tonight because he's how I'm getting home.
Well, go ahead, Craig.
Sammy and Jim Mitchell and who?
That's how I pay my dad. So I give him free publicity.
I'll down let Sam clean your windshield. Okay, we're ready to go. The Tigers inbound it. Jeff St. Clair with the ball. Out front to DeWitt on the wing. As Sullivan North matching up in a man-to-man now as DeWitt comes across the top of the key with it. They double team him. He gets it to Miller low post. Works underneath and the ball now close. People all over the floor again as McLaughlin comes out with it for Sullivan North. Gets it out to Crawford. Into the front court with it. And pulls up. Starts the shot. Does not get it. Takes it underneath. As Arnold takes it. Firing off the baseline. No good that time. Reed comes down with it for the Tigers. It's terrific.
He missed everything.
Put up the air ball. Of course, I think he felt Phillips on his backside. 48-44. The Tigers lead by 4. St. Clair brings it back to the front court again. Picks it up. Drops it to Miller underneath. Puts it up. He has foul from behind as he's trying for the alley-oop.
Maybe Granville All's for it. No, it's on Johnson.
Johnson. Or Granville Arnold. It is on Arnold. That's his fourth one as Arnold hits Miller quick enough to keep Miller from putting it up when McGrath gets the bucket. Oh, Everybody from Princeton got their coat in the foul down there. It's about 6 foot high. Looks like they hate that.
While we're waiting on Jimmy to shoot this foul shot, this is a tremendous atmosphere. It's a nice facility. And if you didn't come tonight, you won't be in this particular gym, but we'd like to see as many Princeton people here as we can. There is a good crowd tonight.
As Miller on the line, fires the first free throw. Good. He'll have a second. That's his first free throw of the night, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Princeton's only shot 3 field goals up to this, 3 free throws up to this point.
49-44, minute 58 to play. Princeton leads. As Jim Miller on the line, fires again, and it is off the flange, no good. Rebound tipped around, pulled down by Sullivan North. Outlet pass is controlled by Sullivan North as they get it out to Booney Crawford. Crawford in the front court, and a pole-like team that Phillips threw up the ball. Gave it to Miller, goes down, slam dunk! As Miller slam dunked it, 51-44. Tigers up by 7, and boy, the Tigers got away with a bullet. Dodged the bullet there. As the Sullivan North comes back with the ball. Sullivan by St. Clair. St. Clair on the breakaway. Goes down, lays it up. Good! Then he fouled, and it dropped in. It hung on the rim forever.
Foul's on number 21, I believe, Glenn. We'll have to watch.
On Ruth Bacon, I believe.
And they gave him the basket, but I would have had to say somebody interfered with that ball on the rim, did they or did they not, Craig?
No, they didn't. Sullivan North wants a timeout, but my goodness, we got a minute and a half to play. Princeton 53, Sullivan North 44, and the Tiger fans bring out the big stuffed Tigers. But now on the play right before that, Princeton, roll block, call front block, and Phillips finally just about, he really decked him over that head and then come up with the ball. And boy, that was...
Well, if you're playing by somebody else's rules and you catch on to it and play by them...
Jack Pack would have been very proud of his defensive secondary if he got a stick on that play.
Well, they come. The officials have been consistent.
Hey, well, we got time. Let's pause 30 seconds for this commercial.
They were consistent.
How many field goals you got in this quarter? I'm losing track of here.
Princeton 6.
6, okay.
And Miller traveled on that slam dunk.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, he took off from way out.
He did.
He either did or he flew a little.
He seen daylight, didn't he?
He took 3 steps and then jumped.
St. Clair almost blew that one. St. Clair's on the foul line, isn't he?
Yes.
That should be Sullivan North's 5th timeout.
As Bob says, that should be Sullivan North's 5th timeout. Maybe they get a 6th down here. I don't know.
Well, they don't count 10 seconds on the foul line.
We'll have Jeff St. Clair on the foul line for the Tigers. The Tigers leading 53-44 with a minute and a half to play. How about them apples?
Them just suit me just by a rotten one in that whole barrel.
I wonder if the Tigers going to be bruised after this. By the way, in our motel room, we got a water bed. Does that help bruises?
Well, if you come to knocking on my door at 3 o'clock with seasickness, we ain't letting you in.
Well, Charlie told me he'd throw you out this in a minute. Just St. Clair,
Charlie.
He fires. He's on the free throw line. He fires. It is no good off the flange. Rebound pulled down by Sullivan North as Johnson controls. Gets it out to Crawford. Crawford goes to the front court. St. Clair picks him up. As they feed it back outside to Bacon, and he had the shot blocked by St. Clair. He still got it. Jim Miller pulled it out of the air. So Miller gets it to the front court to Eads. The Tigers control with a minute 15 to play, and they lead by 9. As St. Clair with the ball, gives it to DeWitt. Tigers will spread it out. And there's a foul called on Bruce Bacon as he came out to foul James DeWitt. And that's number 2 on Bacon. Team foul number 7 or 8 on Sullivan. It don't make any difference. But we'll have James DeWitt on the line to shoot a 1-and-1. We got a minute and 9 seconds to play in this ball game. And it is Princeton 53, Sullivan North 44.
And the tempo has picked up.
It's good. As DeWitt hits that first free throw. So now the Tigers are out by 10, 54-44. With a minute 9 to play. As DeWitt fires again, it's good. 55-44. The Tigers lead by 11. As Crawford will bring it to the front court for Sullivan. Backs his way up. Starts it down the left side. He's playing the defense. He'll fire from 25 feet. He put up. He missed everything. DeWitt comes off with it for the Tigers. James into the front court. Holds it up on the wing position. Gives it outside to Mike Eads. With 52 seconds to play, the Tigers lead by 11. As Eads in traffic gives it to St. Clair. Jeff way out front gives it back to Mike Eads as they double team him on the baseline, so he just bounces it off of Bacon's foot out of bounds.
Well, I caught a foul on Johnson, I believe.
Was it on Johnson or Bacon's on one of them? And that'll put Eads on the free throw line. It's on Johnson, you're right. That's number 2 on Johnson. 55-44, the Tigers lead by 11. We got 44 seconds left to play in the ball game. Mike Eads on the free throw line for the Tigers. He'll fire 1-1. He puts it up with the right hand. It's good. He'll have a second one. 56-44. The Tigers lead by 12. As class has told.
The number 3 ranked team in West Virginia playing the number 9 ranked team in Tennessee.
Eads hits the second one, 57-44. The Tigers lead by 13 now. Sullivan into the front court. Crawford with the ball. Holds it up on the wing as Eads plays the defense on him. Gets it to Bacon. They go cross court with it to McLaughlin. Into the corner to Arnold, firing no good. Rebound pulled up by the Witt. He is fouled from behind as Eads got hit in the mouth.
I think they're calling it, they are calling it foul.
Oh, the guy's all over his back using like a step ladder. That's on Scott Johnson. And the Tigers have not lost their composure as Mike Eads maybe has a nosebleed. That's what maybe it is. And we get Scooter Quill into the ballgame and Eads will come out. Check it. Now they're bringing David Phillips out to get the ball handler, and they want Quill in for the outside speed and ball handling. 31 seconds to play. Tigers lead 57-44. James DeWitt on the free throw line. He fires. It's on the iron. No good. Rebound pulled down by Arnold of Sullivan North. Arnold brings it to the front court. Gives it to Johnson in the corner, firing. Good. As McLaughlin hit it, 57-46. As Eads with the ball for the Tigers. Gets it to the front court. Works his way around. Muscles his way through a press. Gives it back outside to Scooter Quill. They double team him. Gives it across court to Jeff St. Clair. 8 seconds on the clock now. To Quill outside with 5 seconds on the clock. Quill goes between two of them. Splits them. Goes it back to the far side. Still dribbling. And there's the buzzer. The Tigers win it. The Tigers win it 57-46. As the Tigers did not lose their composure. They held their poise through all the physical adversities and all the slip-shotty refereeing and still won the ball game. 57-46. The Tigers win. We'll be back with our wrap-up right after this. Princeton Tigers victorious here over the Sullivan North Golden Vikings by a 57-46 score in a very physical ball game. As Princeton put together 4 quarters of 16 points, 8 points, 15 points, and 18 points for a final total of 57 points. Sullivan North had 11 points, 12 points in the second quarter, 11 in the third, 12 in the fourth for a game total of 46. Final score, Princeton 57, Sullivan North 46. We'll be back right after this. As the crowd really comes alive now, Dobyns-Bennett comes on the floor. Final score of the Tigers 57, the Sullivan North Golden Raiders. Well, not Golden, what's wrong with it? Sullivan North Golden Raiders 46 on the night. The Tigers run their record out to 10-3, and tonight they will beat the Dobyns-Bennett Indians over Sullivan North High School. And now the Louisville team comes on, and boy, they look like some kind of class basketball. Of course, Dobyns-Bennett doesn't look too bad out there either. They look pretty good. We'll have if you're all out here for the second game, you're going to miss a real treat. The Tigers win it 57-46, and it was really a terrible ball game, and the officials let them play football, soccer, lacrosse, whatever they wanted to play, and they just let it get away. We'll be back. We're going to pause 30 seconds. We'll be back with all the stats. First, let's pause for this. Final score of the Princeton Tigers 57, the Sullivan North Golden Raiders 46. The Tigers won it by 11. I'll get it right in a minute. I'm looking at something down here in the crowd. Bob, you ready on the individuals?
Well, for John McCary's Sullivan North team individually, Booney Crawford came in and really hit some baskets from downtown. He hit 7 of them for 14 points. He did not go to the free throw line. Scott Johnson came in, had 3 field goals for 6 points. Granville Arnold had 6 field goals, 7 of 8 from the foul line, 19 points on the night. Derek McLaughlin had 2 field goals for 4 points. Tim Light had 1 field goal, 1 for 3 at the foul line, 3 points. Granville Arnold only hit 1 field goal in the second half of this ball game. He had 5 in the first half, giving them a total of 19 field goals, 8 of 11 from the foul line, 46 points. For Princeton, Mike Eads had 4 field goals, 2 for 2 at the foul line, 10 points. Jeff St. Clair had 3 field goals, 1 for 2 at the foul line, 7 points. James DeWitt had 4 field goals, 3 for 4 at the foul line, 11 points. Stephon Strain had 1 field goal. He set out a lot of the ball game as David Phillips got a lot of playing time in the second half of this ball game. 1 field goal, 2 points. Jimmy Miller, 10 field goals, 1 of 2 at the foul line, a bushel of rebounds, 21 points. David Phillips came in the second half, 3 field goals, 6 points, giving Princeton 25 field goals, 6 more than Sullivan North. 7 of 10 at the free throw line, 57 points. Charlie Wright, how do you sit for team statistics?
Okay, team total showed tonight that Princeton made 25 of 44 for 57%. They pulled down 32 rebounds, and they committed 14 turnovers. For Sullivan North, they made 19 of 56 for 34%. They could pull down 27 rebounds, and they committed 10 turnovers. I thought it was a very fine performance for Princeton tonight. It was a very physical ball game. The refs let it get very physical, and I thought they did very good under pressure myself.
So the Tigers victorious, and Ralph Ball is working his way up to us. We're up in the crow's nest, so we'll be back with more. First, let's pause for this. The final score, the Princeton Tigers victorious here, 57-46, and we're waiting on Coach Ralph Ball, as I say, making his way up to us right now. Craig went down to get him. We're way up in the crow's nest. It's quite a hike to get up here. And now the Tigers will be in action tomorrow night. At 7 o'clock, we'll be on the air at 10 hours as they take on the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, who are rated number 1 in the state of Tennessee. Now, this team they played tonight was rated number 9 in the state. And Coach Ralph Ball comes in. First of all, Coach, we're going to say that a lot of congratulations to the Tigers because under all the physical adversities out there, they held their composure, held their poise, and won the ball game.
Our kids played real well. It's a little rougher than we're used to playing, but officiating overall, it wasn't impartial. I thought, away from home was pretty even, really. It was a rougher game than we're used to, but we adjusted pretty good.
Well, the officials, they didn't call it one-sided. They just let everything go on.
Well, it's a little rough, right, but like I said, our kids really played well.
Well, even with all the roughness, though, and I don't know if you've seen the stats yet, but Princeton shot 57%. They had 57% the first half, 56% the second half for a game total of 57%. That's good.
Yeah, that's one of our better games, really. Shooting-wise, we did a real fine job, and we didn't take any bad shots, really, and got the ball inside real good. It was really a good team offensive effort and defensive. So just one of our better efforts, really, because they're an outstanding ball team.
In the first half, Sullivan North shot 38%. In the second half, the Tigers' defense, they played the change of defense. They shut them down to only 29%. They can only get 8 field goals in the second half.
Right, and a lot of them, they got off the rebounding because they're a big, strong team, and they got some second shots on us. But like I say, I'm real proud of the way our kids really came down here and went out there and played great basketball. One of our better games.
But really, when you think about it, now, Don, but Sullivan North crashed the boards on the Tigers, something that we don't face in West Virginia because they're not allowed to crash the boards like they did down here. These kids, they really just came over the top.
Yeah, they let you go after the ball a little more, and if you don't overlook some of those contact fouls, they call it otherwise about the same on the foul shot stuff like it on drives and with the ball, but the big thing they do let you go after the ball a little more, and we knew that, so we prepared to go after it a little more.
Well, I guess, as most coaches say, as long as they call it the same on both ends of the floor, then you can adjust to do what you have to do.
Like I say, if your kids can make that adjustment, tonight we did.
Well, now the Tigers came into the place. This is a different atmosphere to play basketball in. It's very similar to what you'll face in state tournament. You got a lot of space on both sides, and you got a sort of a dome roof on it. And so it's probably a very good thing for the Tigers as you get ready for tournament time.
Oh, this is a great facility. For high school, it's the best I've ever seen. It's part of their high school, their gymnasium, and it seats over 5,000 people. So they've even got an indoor track down there.
Oh, it is. Yes, okay. That's something, isn't it? But, the Tigers tomorrow night have got to take on the Dobyns-Bennett Indians, and of course, I'm sure if you haven't seen them, this will be your first time to see them in the second game, but this second game is a real good matchup, and for anybody who's a basketball fan, they can really enjoy this.
Right, and they're outstanding teams, and we'll have to play even probably better because Dobyns-Bennett has beaten Sullivan North 2 times, so we're going to have to even play better tomorrow night. I hope this team from Kentucky takes quite a bit out of them.
And in the second quarter, the Tigers had a lead, and then Dobyns-Bennett came back and got a lead, and then when Miller picked up his third foul and had to sit down for a few moments, the Tigers got the bucket late at the buzzer to go in at halftime with a 1-point lead. Now, what did you change at halftime to adjust?
Well, we tried to get the ball inside a little more to Jimmy, and we did that, and changed our offense a little bit more, and trying to reverse the ball a few times on them. And defense, we just try to concentrate more on rebounding.
With all the physical contact out there, how about injury-wise? Pretty healthy?
Well, we're tired, I know that, because that takes a lot out of you. Our kids are tired, and we're using about 7 or 8. We had about 8 boys in there tonight, and all of them performed real well.
And, of course, you never really know what kind of bruises from soreness you're going to have till the next morning anyway, I guess.
That's right. Very true.
Coach, it runs the season record out to 10-3. A very good mark at this point in time, and really, when you think about it, about another 5 or 6 points is all separate the Tigers from being perfect on the season.
Oh, right. And if you play tough enough teams, you're going to lose some games. You're playing half of them away from home, and on different courts, different teams, and it's tough to win them all if you're playing a tough schedule.
But at the same time, now, you could go out and schedule, and I'm not making any aspersions in any ball team anywhere, but you could schedule to play the teams around our area within a short travel distance and win 99% of your ball games.
Oh, you can win a lot of them, and plus, if you just play 4 or 5 tough games, you can always get up for you can point for them teams. You play it tough like we're playing it, you can't point for anybody. You just have to take them as they come.
But I'm sure that you can get a goalie bridge to play you home and away and so forth, but if you beat them, what have you accomplished?
Well, we're trying to play to improve. That's what we're trying to do, and of course, each coach has got to do what he wants to do in that respect.
When in the fourth quarter, which was the best quarter for the Tigers now, they got 18 points. They start pulling away in the second half. They got 15 points in the third quarter and picked up a 5-point lead. 18 points in the fourth quarter for a final spread of 11 points. What kind of thoughts was running through your mind? I saw you kind of excited a couple of times down there tonight.
Well, I just wanted us not to take any good shots and not foul, and concentrate on rebounding was the big thing.
Congratulations on a big win, and I'm sure that you're real happy with it.
Right, we're real proud of the boys, right.
Coach Ralph Paul of the Princeton Tigers, and Coach will see you tomorrow night up the other part of the county.
Right.
And the Tigers victorious here tonight over the Golden Raiders of Sullivan North, 57-46. And we'll be back with more. First, let's pause for this. Okay, that went on. And again, now Bob took his helmet off on us 2 or 3 times now to get after the officials.
Well, the last quarter of this ball game was very exciting quarter. Princeton wound up 57-46. They kept the composure. They didn't lose it. They played team basketball, and they did a tremendous job. Every player who got to that game deserves a great deal of credit because there was a lot of pressure. 6,500 people watching you. Surely they've never played before that many, and they came through like champs.
Okay, the Tigers victorious. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll be up at Sullivan North High School tomorrow night when they take on Dobyns-Bennett, the number 1 team, rated team in the state of Tennessee. Charlie Wright, closing comments.
Glenn, tonight I thought Princeton played very good. They adjusted to what, like Coach Ball said, the referees here call a little bit different. They let you play a little bit more under the boards. And
a little more?
Well, I was trying.
Is that an understatement?
See, I was trying to be easy on them. But I thought they did. Hey,
there was nothing easy out there.
That's right. And they played in a very big crowd here tonight. And I thought they held the composure very, very good. Very fine performance, I think.
Last chance, Bob.
I have no closing comments. Which way to the welcome wagon?
Who's buying dinner tonight?
Charlie Wright?
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Okay. The ball game brought to you tonight on Big Way Radio by Mercer County Bank, Michener Chevrolet Olds AMCG, Kids Discount, Pepsi-Cola, the Bottling Company, Princeton Armature Company, and Leggett. I'm Glenn May, speaking on behalf of Craig Jack Alara's been with us, Bob Graham, Charlie Wright, and we got Margaret Long. She, I don't know, she's going to cook breakfast, I think, for everybody in the morning. Saying we appreciate the fact that you allowed us to be a part of your evening. In fact, we say thanks so much for listening. Good night, all.